Many artists have painted about the time Jesus spent 40 days in the wilderness, immediately after he was baptized in the Jordan River by John the Baptist. We'll look at some of those paintings. The story of the temptation of Jesus is based on the Gospel of Luke, chapter 4, verses 1 through 13. Below this video are links to large versions of the artist's works. The first painting was made in about 1300, more than 700 years ago, by an artist known as DUCIO. The painting is called Temptation on the Mountain. It is part of a large piece of art called Maesta. This painting is on the back side of that large piece of art, the Maesta. The large piece of art was made to be put on an altar inside a huge church building in Italy. The piece of art had two sides, and it had different paintings on each side. This shows the back side of the large piece of art. It was in the church for about 450 years. Then it was cut into pieces, leaving many individual paintings, and the individual paintings are now in many places around the world. The Temptation of the Mountain painting was next to another painting that we looked at before, a few classes ago. It was a painting about when Jesus called Andrew and his brother Simon Peter to be apostles, to be fishers of men. The paintings are side by side in the bottom row. Look closely and you can see them. The next painting was made in the year 1482 by Botticelli. It is a fresco, and it is painted on a wall at the Sistine Chapel in Rome, Italy. It is called Temptation of Christ. It is 18 feet wide and 11 feet high, larger than the end wall in our classroom. There are many things happening in the painting. Let's look at three parts of the painting. We'll begin in the upper left corner of the painting. In the upper left corner, the artist painted the devil coming to Jesus when Jesus was in the wilderness for 40 days. Jesus was hungry. The devil tempted him by saying, "If you are the Son of God, tell this stone to become bread." Here is that portion of the painting. The devil is portrayed as pretending to be a man, but you see his feet that look like bird feet. The devil is pointing to stones on the ground. In the upper right corner of the painting, the artist painted the devil in a high place with Jesus, looking down over many towns and cities and the wide countryside. You see the bird-like feet on the devil. The devil said, "If you worship me, it will all be yours." But Jesus remembered this: worship the Lord your God and serve him only. In the center of the painting, at the top, the artist painted the devil and Jesus standing on the highest point of the temple in Jerusalem, where the devil said to Jesus, "If you are the Son of God, "Throw yourself down from here." The devil said that, if Jesus were the Son of God, God would tell angels to protect Jesus so that Jesus would not fall to the ground. Jesus answered, "It is said, do not put the Lord your God to the test." The next painting was made in about 1500 by Juan De Flandez. It is small, only about 8 inches high and about 6 inches wide. It's at the National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C. It's an oil painting. Here is a close-up of the painting. The next painting was made in 1600, a little over 400 years ago. The artist's name was Tobias Verhecht, and the painting is called The Temptation of Christ. It's an oil painting, about 2 feet wide and almost 1.5 feet high. The artist liked to paint mountains and landscapes. Jesus and the devil are the smallest part of the painting. Here is a close-up of the devil trying to tempt Jesus. The devil is holding a large brick of gold. Look at the devil's feet. They look like the feet of a goat. The next painting was made in 1872 by Ivan Nikolaevich KRAMSKOI. The painting is called Christ in the Wilderness. The painting is 6 feet high and 7 feet wide. It is in an art gallery in Moscow, Russia. The final painting was made in 1890 by James TISSOT. The painting is called Jesus Tempted in the Wilderness. Jesus appears to be inside a cave. The devil is kneeling on the ground outside the cave, holding up stones. The painting is gouache on paper. Gouache is kind of like watercolor paint, but it's a lot thicker. This art is at a museum in Brooklyn, New York. It's about 13 inches wide and about 9 inches high.